Hey folks, set up behind me here is the Coleman Instant Swagger 2-person. It's not a tent, it's not a swag, it sits right in between. I'm going to show you how to set it up and how to pack it away. Let's get started.
Hit it.
Ben from Snowman's here folks on an overcast day at the Brown Hill Creek Tourist Park, and I've got the Coleman Instant Swagger 2P tent here for you today. Now, Coleman claim this is filling the void between a tent and a swag. It's got an instant up frame, kind of a little bit higher than a swag, but it's not quite big enough to be classed as a tent. A term I've often termed as a swent, but they call it the swagger. I'm going to show you how to set it up and pack it away today. This is how it comes when you buy it. The bag itself measures about 120 centimeters, 119 centimeters, but when it's actually packed up inside, the pole structure is about 10 centimeters shorter than that, about 110 centimeters, and about 20 odd centimeters in height and depth. Weighs in a little bit over 9 kilos. I'll start by showing you what comes in the bag. Inside the bag here, you've got the instructions actually sewn in place there so you can't lose them. You also get a little bag of pegs, some warranty information, and a little bit of a repair kit there, floor repair kit fabric. A couple of guy ropes to go with it so you can set up your awning. Just on the awning, you get a couple of awning poles included. In this bag here, there's steel awning poles. Now the inner here is secured with a couple of straps, but this is the inner tent and the frame all secured together as one, and you get the fly sheet as well. So first thing we want to do to set it up is put these things aside. We're going to spread this out and start to get the frame in place. So just spread the inner fabric out to start with and try and locate the door. You'll find that these hubs, these hard bits on each end here, are lengthways on the tent. So as you fold these out, you'll be able to find the door in here somewhere. Here we go, here's the door. On this side here, I want the door facing that way. So I'm just going to spin it around. And then gently pull all the poles out so that it lays flat in this kind of, we've got the center pole here, this is going to be the ridge pole, and then we've got 2 upright poles at each end there. Now if it was windy here today, I'd probably want to put some pegs in place before I put this frame up in place, just in case the wind catches it, but it's nice and calm, so I can start to extend all these poles out. So I come to this end here, I've got 2 poles I need to extend out. We've got a little sticker here, and under that is a little hole, and there's going to be a push pin that will locate in that hole as I extend this out. We do that on both ends. Just keep pulling it until that push pin locks in place. Same on the other side. So come up the other end here, we extend these 2 poles as well until they lock into place. And that's our 2 end sections all set up, and there's just one more pole we need to lock, and that's the center ridge pole here, which we extend out. Same deal, there's a little hole in the top here. We extend that out until the silver locking pin locks into place there. A little bit of muscle just to stretch it out, and that's the frame in place. So I can now go around, I'll grab 4 pegs, put a peg in each corner, and that's the inner all secured. Now I've got this secured to the ground at the moment. In calm weather, that's all I need to do now. Previously, the larger instant up tents in the Coleman range, it's always been recommended that you put the fly on for stability. With the swagger tents, Coleman have introduced guy ropes on the inner here, so you can actually peg these guy ropes out. There's 2 at each end, and you can actually just use the inner as it is at the moment, which makes it really good for dry, warm nights. If you are in wet weather though, this is waterproof material, but it's not seam sealed on the inner, so you're going to need to throw the fly over the top. So that's the next thing we'll do. Okay, now we just got to orient the fly, and we can do that with, there's a little red tab here. This red tab matches up with the red tab on the corner here, so we need, this gives us the right orientation. That's the only red tab on the tent. The door needs to go to the front, so we know if we've got the door here lined up with this door, this red tab lined up with this, we're in the right orientation. So we'll throw this over the top, and just before you clip each corner in, just follow the pole up underneath the fly, and there'll be a little Velcro tab here that's designed to go around the frame, gives it a little bit more stability and stops it flapping around too much. So there's one of those on each leg. Put that in place, then follow it down to the bottom where you'll find a plastic clip on each corner. This plastic clip lines up with the D-ring in the bottom of the inner tent there. We'll clip that in place. So we'll do the same thing on all 4 pole legs. So I've got the fly clipped in place. There's 3 more pegs we need to put in. 2 for the awning at the front here. So I'll put 1 here and 1 on the other side of the door over there. And there's also 1 at the rear to peg out a little circle ventilation vent that's got there's a vent inside to allow a bit of airflow throughout. So with those 3 in place, that's the fly secured. There are guy ropes, once again, on each end of the tent here, 2 on each end. in really bad conditions, we can put them in place. If you're going to set it up overnight, it's always good to put the guy ropes in place anyway. So that is the Swagger 2P all set up. This is kind of in full weatherproof mode, I suppose, so it's going to keep you dry. In the worst of conditions, we've got the awning closed up, the windows are closed up at the end. The only thing I haven't done today is put the guy ropes in place, which always do, especially if it's going to be windy weather. But there's one more thing that we can do for setup, and that is using these awning poles, which just pop into place. There's a little spring in the middle there. There's a loop over the top. We can use these to set this doorway up here as a bit of a weather protected entrance to the tent. There are little brass eyelets in the corners here that can loop. We put the spigot from the pole through there. We stand this upright. We use the guy ropes that were included with the tent to loop over the top of this, peg it out, and we'll have a little weather protected shelter over the entrance. So now I've got the awning set up at the front here. There's nice little hooks over the top of these awning poles to keep the ropes on, and we've got a bit of weather protected entrance to the Swagger here. One more thing I'll show you is just around on the ends of the tents here, and that's with these windows. You can set these up in a few different ways. I've got this zip closed at the moment for full weather protection. If you unzip these, you can roll them all the way up so that they're right up and out the way to allow ventilation through this side of the tent. You've got the same thing on the other side of the tent with internal privacy screens. There's also a lower vent at the back of the tent and the door at the front, so you can get lots of ventilation through the tent. Other option, if it is a little bit rainy, you can use the guy ropes that are attached to this window here to peg it out like this as a bit of a weather protected awning. You're still going to potentially get a little bit of rain in the side if it is really heavy, so you might want to just maybe close the zip up a little bit, but you do have an option to peg this out to allow ventilation while there's still a little bit of rain around. That's how you set up the Coleman Swagger 2P tent. It's a great alternative if you don't have room to pack a bulky swag. You want something that packs it or sets up nice and quickly. It also packs away really quickly. Same thing in reverse. First thing I'll do is take the awning down. So I've taken the awning down. I've zipped the doorway at the front here. I've just got these 3 pegs to take in around the base, and then we can go and unclip it from the frame. So come to the corners now. We can unclip the little plastic clips at the base there. And don't forget to work your way up and just undo the Velcro tab that we did up earlier around the frame here. Do that on all 4 corners, and then we can take the fly off. As you go around, just make sure you zip the windows down as well. It can make it harder to pack the fly away if there's kind of a bunch of fabric at the top here. Roll them flat, it's going to fold up nice and flat and go back in the bag nice and easily. Now I've pulled all 4 pegs out of the corners here, so this is no longer secured to the ground. So as always, when you're packing a tent up, if it is windy, now it's calm here today, but if it is windy, just be aware that a big wind can pick this up and blow it away now, which could end up in damaging the frame. So either have someone hold it down or leave the pegs in until you've got the frame collapsed down. Now from this point, what we want to do is come to the middle of the tent here, and we're going to collapse the center pole down. So we push that middle or little silver push pin there that's in the middle, and that's going to allow this pole to collapse. The tent's going to start to fall down on itself. We go to each end on all 4 of these legs and collapse these down, and we just let it gently all fall down on itself. Don't force it. Should have just fall down on itself flat onto the ground. Now from here, we want to start to fold all of these up. So these 2 end poles and the 2 shortest little flexible composite poles here all fold in on themselves. When you fold this, these little ones tend to just go with it. So push this right up and fold it up against this center ridge pole here. This one will want to come with it as well. As you go, just try and sort of overlap or let the fabric fold so that it sits flat. We can see that little pole that was sitting in here is just sticking out. Might just want to push that in, make sure that's tucked in there as well. Same on the other side, I can feel the small poles just sticking out here a little bit. We'll just tuck that in as well to the middle. Same on the other end, and then we can fold the fabric over and roll it up. So from this point, you can start rolling just as you go. Just roll carefully. You shouldn't have to force any of the poles, and just make sure that none of the poles are sticking out underneath here and you're not forcing it. So should roll nice and easy. So I can feel this nice little bundle of poles here. It's all just loose fabric at that end there, and I can roll it up, tie it up with the straps and put it back in the bag. That went back in the bag super easy. There's plenty of space in there. You might be wondering, given that there's space in the bag, can you pack any bedding up inside of this? You're not going to be able to do that because the frame's not going to be able to fold up. So your bedding does have to go separate to this, which is a distinct difference between the Swagger and a Swag. That's where it is more like a tent. But it is an alternative sleeping option for those who, like I said, don't want that bulk of a Swag or just want a bit more head space or interior space than a Swag without going down the path of getting a really large tent. That is how you set up the Coleman Swagger 2P. Nice and easy done by myself, easy with 2 people, but certainly achievable with 1. You can buy these online at snowies.com.au at our lowest prices every day. But if you've got any questions, let us know down in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel, we'll send you all of our latest information, or check out some other videos like this one down here.